Hello everyone, Savage Gaming here, and I want to talk about the new Halloween game that's coming out next year in 2026. It is an asymmetrical horror game, games like Friday the 13th, Chainsaw Massacre, Dead by Daylight. However, the twist with this is that there is a single player mode. Um, there is a single player mode in this game, which really caught my attention because the Hellraiser game that was announced is, to my understanding, a single player game, and that's cool. It's really cool, and I really like that. I feel like all the I've not. Whoa, I would say mascot. I feel like all of the OG horror killers, like Michael, like Chucky, like Freddy, like all of them, they should all get single player experiences like this. There need to be more games like Pinhead's, Hellraiser, where they get a single player only story, because really at the heart it was a movie or a book, and it's going into to be a game. It really needs something like this. I feel like all horror movies should have a game adaptation that really sticks to what made that thing awesome, or why is it that good. Anyway, this game is produced or being developed by Ilphonic and Gun. And down here we have some talking points that they have, and I really want to talk about this right here: the tackling single player and multiplayer modes in Halloween. Clicking on it, cool screenshot. They got like a whole bunch of stuff with Michael and some survivors or players and characters that you can play as. But I want to point out that um, they say that in the multiplayer mode, right, you and up to four other players can join up to help free the town from death itself. So, I just want to give a little bit of background information. I'm not the best knowledge on this, but I've played Friday the 13th, and I've played a couple Ilphonics games, and the one that I'm pointing out the most is the Ghostbusters Spirit Unleashed. Um, and I just kind of want to point out that if if I've played enough asymmetrical genre games, I know that normally there's always one big bad and there's four good guys, and just depending on the game, it depends on what's happening in the game. So, a good example of this is Friday the 13th and the Ghostbusters game, The Spirits Unleashed from Ilphonic. Friday the 13th, you as a character could have multiple ways to escape, and you had to work as a team, but you could also kill Jason. That was a possibility. Note that uh, that was the Friday the 13th game. In the Ghostbusters game, you can play as a wide variety of ghosts and spirits and haunters and munchers and whatever. And in that game, instead of you going and attacking the Ghostbusters or doing something to the Ghostbusters are actually coming after you. But your objective is to haunt the game and the map so that, you know, the scare meter goes up, and if you haunt the place fast enough and survive, like, I think it's like the 200 second to like 100 second timer right at the end of the game, of the round, you win the game as the ghost. And if you're a Ghostbuster, bust the ghost and you win. And oh, you have to do it, I think it's like 3 times. You have to do it 3 times, uh, but you also have to like destroy the ancient artifacts that are possessed. Anyway, uh, in this statement when I was reading it, I don't know if I have it mixed up or whatnot, but it says help free the town from death itself. With an array of uh, interactable elements, players have to team up, be smart, brave, and efficient to aid their friends and their folk town in Haddonfield in thwarting Michael Myers. So I think in this game, gameplay wise, you are not fighting Michael. You are not, quote unquote, like doing an objective to stop Michael. This is a game of cat and mouse, except that when you're the mouse, you're helping the colony. You're trying to help the pack. And um and Michael is the big bad. He's the 100% big bad. There probably will be a couple things to stop him. He's not, unstoppable, but he doesn't die. I've seen for some reason. And like Michael here, so our I'm guessing the gameplay objective of the game is we as humans, as the characters, as the players, have to go around Haddonfield and help help other people around or NPCs around the map escape, um, as well as we do as well, as well as we do. And there's going to be multiple ways to probably escape, but at the end of the day, like this game is it's not generator based like Dead by Daylight. It's not kill or be killed um or anything like that with like Friday the 13th. It's not crazy weird bonkers like Chainsaw Massacre. Um this game is a lot like the Ghostbusters game where Michael is the big bad, but Michael's objective is just to kill everyone, while the survivor's objective is to free everyone, tell them that Michael's coming, and run away as fast as possible. This is going to be split up between each player's job is to go around Haddonfield and get people out of the house and to a safe point where Michael can't go. And that's how the game's probably going to be played if I had to guess. If I had to guess, this is probably what it is. Now, moving on to the single player mode of this game. I actually don't really understand the single player mode of this game. Apparently, from what I'm understanding is the single player story mode will be played in the big multiplayer map. This probably might be a training sim for the multiplayer if you play the story mode, where it's like you play the story mode, you get to learn the maps, you get to learn the locations, you get to learn, the wraparound. You just get to learn the ropes in story mode. And then in multiplayer, RNG based, random spawns, random everything, go for it. But I would like to see what they do with the story mode. And I would want to know if you're actually if it's a two-sided story mode. So if you're gonna be a human on one end, or you're gonna be Michael on the other end. I find it quite interesting, and they should lead with it. That would be such a cool idea. Now, um, this is something that I kind of just wanted to talk about. I actually haven't looked at the other talking points, but it's just so interesting. It really is just so interesting, and I have high hopes for this game. I really do. But at the end of the day, all I have to say is, will this game be better than Dead by Daylight? That is the question. I'm a Dead by Daylight player at heart. I love that game to death. And with the way that it is right now, with all the mess ups and the unknowing end to Dead by Daylight's health update for an health update, um, I don't know. Not to mention, this is a Michael Myers game, and to recent time, Pinhead was in Dead by Daylight and he got removed because of an upcoming Hellraiser game. I'm going to guess because that's what they did with Stranger Things. So, Stranger Things and Pinhead, you know, if they got taken out because of license issues, because of upcoming games, and then they got added back, then whatever. But the problem what I have with this is Michael. He was the first DLC character, like licensed DLC character. I would hate for Michael to leave Dead by Daylight. I feel like he is such a huge staple of why the game is where it is sometimes. Really. I really do think this. Either way it goes. This is Halloween. Let's hope it does well. See you guys later.